Welcome to the GCN Racing News Show. 2019 road season has already started with the Australian and New Zealand National Championships taking place at the weekend, as well as the Bay Crits before that, whilst the Cyclocross season is still in full swing with the DVV Trophy in Brussels. EF Education First announced their new name and alternative race programme. There's a new Irish professional team, and we've got a brief preview of the upcoming Women's Tour Down Under. First up though, let's take a look at the newly crowned National Road Race Champions of 2019. In Australia, a new star was born in the women's event. Now you may well recognise the name Sarah Gigante from this time last year on the first ever GCN Racing News Show. We gave her our first ever Rider of the Week award after she'd won the Junior Women's Criterium, Time Trial and Road Race over in Australia. Now 12 months further on, she's the new Under-23 and Elite Women's Champion. She got the better of a whole host of World Tour stars, including the entire Australian contingent of Mitchelton Scott, who had to make do with silver and bronze for Amanda Spratt and Sarah Roy respectively. Impressive to say the very least, but it appears that her talents are not just confined to cycling, but also in academia. Gigante is also planning on studying for a degree in medicine. Further to that, I thought this tweet from Monique Hanley was very enlightening. When Sarah Gigante was under 15, she led a protest at the unfairness of racing distances between boys and girls of the same age. Her actions helped trigger a process which eventually led to a new national junior racing policy. She's a remarkable human in so many ways. Well, you're not wrong there, Monique. I'm sure we'll be hearing plenty more of Sarah in the very near future. What an inspiring young lady. Now, one thing that Gigante does still need some time to master, though, is the opening of a champagne bottle. I absolutely love this clip of Sarah Roy passing on her experience and help to the youngster. The World Tour pre-race favourites also missed out in the men's event just a few hours later on. Mitchelton Scott always have a lot of pressure on their shoulders to perform there, and things looked to be under control for them as Cameron Meyer and Luke Durbridge bridged up to an early four-man breakaway, which also contained defending champion Alex Edmondson. On the last lap though, Meyer got away with Chris Harper, and it looked to be between them for the green and gold national championship stripes. However, their game of cat and mouse in the final few kilometres allowed another rider from the early breakaway, Michael Freiberg, to not only catch them in the last kilometre, but also immediately attack them and go on to take the win. Freiberg, 28 years old, is a former World Omnium champion on the track and the founder of Air Hub, a front hub that gives you extra resistance to help your training. This year's Australian Elite Champions are clearly a talented duo, both on and off the bike. That, though, was no consolation to Cameron Meyer, who was visibly upset after being unable to fulfil his dream of becoming National Road Race Champion. Meanwhile, over in New Zealand, under-23 riders took both the elite titles. In fact, in the women's event, the under-23 riders filled the first four places, with Georgia Christie the best of them all, holding on by 12 seconds after a long solo move in the final circuits. It was also a solo attack that won the men's race, with 20-year-old James Fouché coming home over 3 minutes ahead of his closest rival, Kees Duvestein. The first non-under-23 rider on the day was EF Education First Tom Scully, prompting a jubilant Jonathan Vaughters to tweet his congratulations on the new jersey, only to be brought straight back down to earth with the bang when he was informed of the actual rules. Interestingly, Elite Time Trial winner Patrick Bevan of CCC was unable to use his new team kit for the time trial itself, as the new skin suits haven't yet arrived. So he rode in his Waikato Bay of Plenty Centre kit, which didn't hold him back as he took his second title in 3 years. Prior to the Australian National Championships, as ever, were the Bay Crits. The real story of the men's events there was the incredible return of Marco Haller. The Austrian's career almost ended in April last year when he was hit by a car whilst training, suffering a double fracture to his patella and a fracture to his left femur. But Haller didn't quit the sport, and in one of his first races back, he won the first stage of the Bay Crits in Geelong, Australia. Not only that, Haller hung on to win the overall series after the 3 days of racing. Days 2 and 3 were won by Caleb Ewan, taking his first 2 wins for his new team, Lotto Soudal. In the women's race, the leader's jersey changed hands every single day. Orica Scott's Amanda Spratt took her first win of the season on Stage 1. Stage 2 was taken by Chloe Hosking of Ale Cipollini, and the final stage was won by Peter Mullins. However, the overall was won by Valentina Scandalara of Rock Salt Attacker, who finished in the top 4 on every single day. Over to Cyclocross now, and there were wins for both Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert at the weekend, thanks mainly to the fact that Van Aert travelled a few hundred kilometres to Brittany on Sunday to compete at the Cyclocross International de Metier, where he collected a reported €20,000 in start money and a comfortable win over Clement Venturini in the race itself. Van der Poel, though, given his form this year, probably didn't even notice that the world champion was absent, taking his 100th career win on Saturday at the Cyclocross Hooligan, backed up yesterday by yet another win at the DVV DVV Trophy on a new course in Brussels. He was 45 seconds to the good of World Cup leader Tone Arts there. In the women's event, it was yet another story of a youngster coming to the fore, with European Under-23 champion Kaylin Del Carmen Alvarado taking her first senior win. Her win yesterday meant that there have now been 7 different winners at the 7 rounds so far. The open nature of the women's events this year couldn't be further from the men's right now. In other news, there is a new name for EF Education First Drapac powered by Cannondale. Are you ready? It's EF Education First. Well, that's it. Just as I've managed to get a hang of their incredibly long name, they've gone and shortened it. They've also announced some of their alternative race calendar for this season. So they're going to be sending riders to the Dirty Kanza, Leadville 100, the Three Peaks Cyclocross Challenge and the Taiwan KOM Challenge. No major surprises there, as those are 4 of the most high-profile events away from the professional cycling calendar. But it's still going to be interesting to see how the riders get on and if they add any further events to that list. Maybe the Red Hook Crits were deemed too risky and too dangerous. On to some news now that I somehow managed to miss when it was announced late last year. There's going to be a new Irish Continental Pro team in the peloton in 2019 called Evo Pro Racing. And they've managed to net themselves an impressive roster. Amongst the 17-rider lineup are former Cannondale World Tour pro Wouter Whippet, along with ex-Aqua Blue Sport riders Shane Archibald, the Flying Mullet, and Aaron Gates, and the Italian Eugenio Alafacci, formerly of Trek Segafredo. We wish them the very best of luck in their first season. We're going to finish today though with a very brief preview of the Women's Tour Down Under, a 4-day race which begins this coming Thursday. There, an in-form Amanda Spratt will be looking to defend her crown, but will face competition from the likes of Brodie Chapman, who you might remember was the revelation of last year's Herald Sun Tour, Ashley Moolman-Pasio, who will make her debut in CCC colours, Elisa Longo-Borghini of the newly formed Trek Segafredo women's team, Rachel Neylan, who will be riding for the national team there, as well as last year's national champion Shannon Malseed of Team Tibco SVB. Stage 1 takes the riders 113 kilometres from Handorf to Birdwood in what is expected to be a big bunch sprint. Stage 2 should see a bit of a shake-up in the GC, finishing as it does on Mingler Hill. Stage 3 will be the last realistic chance for any further change on the GC, taking in the loop of Stirling, Heathfield and Aldgate, including that climb to the finish line in Stirling itself, because the final stage on Sunday is a 42.5 kilometre circuit race around the streets of Adelaide. Right, that's all for this week's Racing News Show. I'll be back next week with a report from the Women's Tour Down Under, plus the Australian Time Trial Championships, so I hope to have your company again then. Before then though, if you'd like to see me start on my own challenge, getting back to fitness in 10 weeks, you can see me suffering just down here.